That's Simon. This is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 1st of August, 2022 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. I thought tonight's Raw was a pretty good episode of Monday Night Raw, but here's the thing. It didn't feel that much different to me. Everybody's saying, it's the first Triple H show. It's going to be different. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. It didn't really feel that much different. Now, I was told by a source this morning that this was going to be treated like a Raw after WrestleMania. And it was a little bit, but not like one of the really, really good big surprise Raw after WrestleManias. But one of the, hey, we're booking some things you might not expect Raws after WrestleManias, like Ciampa getting a big push, which we'll talk about here later, like, Bayley and her group. There was some really, really good matches on tonight's show. I will say that. Bianca and Io was really good. For what it was, and before The Miz got involved, Champa and AJ was really good, but both of the 6-men tags were really good. So, hey, good wrestling on Monday Night Raw. But let's get the poll going here on Twitch really fast. Let's go this, and this. If you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out. Well, actually, if you're watching live on Twitch, then thank you. Thank you for watching on twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. If you're watching or listening later, then thank you for doing so on youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited or on podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Fire King in the chat. Elaborate on what you mean by, did anyone else get some weird cuts during Raw? I think I know what you're talking about, but elaborate just a little bit, please. If you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, all you got to do is take an Amazon Prime account. Doesn't even have to be yours. Any Amazon Prime account. You take an Amazon Prime account. You take a Twitch account. You link them together, bada bing, bada boom. You're Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But remember, it can be anybody's Amazon Prime account, whether that's your mother, father, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your uncle's boyfriend's sister, your sister's mother's dad. I don't know. It could be anybody's Amazon Prime account. It can be the landlord lady that works in the office that kicked you out of your apartment. It could be anybody's Amazon Prime account. But on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out over there by hitting that join button down below. Hit that join button to get early access to news, early access podcast episodes, early access non-news videos, and so much more. Also, remember, you can get all of that, but more directly support us by heading over to patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether that is a new game, whether that is an old game, whether you're claiming the free games or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, and Fall Guys, well, it's going to ask you if you have a creator code, and you do. It's PW Unlimited. Use code PW Unlimited at checkout. Doesn't cost you anything extra. You can get a lot of cool things over there, including John Cena in Fortnite. Yes, John Cena is in Fortnite. And in Fortnite, in the item shop, scroll all the way down to the bottom. It asks you if you have a creator code. And you do. PW Unlimited. Use the code PW Unlimited in Fortnite to unlock. Well, not just to unlock, but to purchase. When you purchase John Cena, you get two versions of John Cena, as you see here on the screen. One with the shirt, one without the shirt. His back bling is a WWE Championship. And he also comes with a 5-digit John Cena You Can't See Me slapper for his pickaxe. And you get the John Cena You Can't See Me emote, where when you emote, his music plays. As long as you don't have streamer mode on. Because I had streamer mode on, and I go, I don't hear Cena's music. But then someone goes, turn off streamer mode. I turned off streamer mode. And then I heard, and I go, oh, okay. She remote back on. But with that, got some stuff to talk about from, well, tonight's Monday Night Raw as the show kicked off with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch opened the show coming down to the ring, oh, well, wearing a sling, unfortunately. So she enters wearing a sling, and they cut to a video package from SummerSlam, her and Bianca Belair, and the post-match angle, and all of this. Mr. Banks says, that was me. What was me? I don't know what you mean by that was me. So Lynch spoke about the past, about hitting rock bottom and knowing who she was without the championship. But at SummerSlam, she finally remembered who the hell she actually is. She said it wasn't the fancy clothes, but it was the relentlessness and the pursuit to be better today than she was yesterday. She said that she could have gave up at SummerSlam when she separated her shoulder, but she gutted through it for almost 20 minutes, the most painful 20 minutes of her entire career. I still don't know what you're talking about, Banks. She would go on to state that she didn't just do it for herself, but she wanted to create the greatest women's division ever seen for all of the women in the back who worked their asses off every week. When she lost, she knew she had given her best, but it just wasn't good enough. But she wasn't defined by one match or by the title. She defined the title. She said that she was not defined by the man. She defined the man. She planned on starting the greatest comeback that we've ever seen. She said she wanted to thank someone in the back, and she wanted to thank someone that is the BEST. That someone maybe makes her that as well. She asked for Bianca to come out. Belair came down and told Lynch that she didn't just define the man, but, quote, but you are the man. As Lynch was getting out of the ring, she said, hold it down, B. I'll see you soon. The crowd chanted for Becky as she walked off. Belair had nothing but respect for Lynch, she said. She hasn't forgotten the underhanded things that Lynch has done, though, but she didn't want to be handed anything, and Lynch made her work for it. She shook her hand at SummerSlam because they had mutual respect for one another, and it meant something to have Lynch's respect as well. Belair said that it was time to find a new challenger, whether that was Bayley or one of her friends. How about they come out now? They cut to the back where Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky were attacking Becky Lynch. Bayley appeared to attack Lynch's arm and shoulder with a steel chair. Bayley and her friends were gone, though, by the time Belair sprinted to the back to come to the aid of Becky. Officials were checking on Becky, and Bianca's like, where'd they go? Where'd they go? Where are they at? Where they at? Who was it? This and that. So, first hour, no commercials. Just like WrestleVotes tweeted that USA Network told them, if you want, you can go no commercials for the first hour. And so, there's a nice video package narrated by JBL, putting over the importance of the United States Championship. They highlighted some of the past champions like Harley Race, Sergeant Slaughter, Roddy Piper, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, JBL, Scott Hall, Bret Hart, John Cena, Ricky Steamboat, Booker T, Kofi Kingston, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Edge, Miz, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and now Bobby Lashley. So they're really putting an emphasis on the U.S. title and making it feel like it's a big deal, not just another belt on the brand. We showed a video of Logan Paul on social media saying that he loved SummerSlam so much that he's already talking to WWE about what's next, where he can go next. He said, I got a multi-year deal with multiple dates, and I'm ready to get back in the ring as soon as I can. And it really felt genuine. I'm going to say that right here. Logan Paul really felt genuine. He didn't just feel like a guy out there for the paycheck or the exposure. No, he comes off as a guy who really enjoys pro wrestling. Next up, we had a triple threat match. It was AJ Styles, The Miz, and Mustafa Ali. Match went just shy of 9 minutes, and the winner would move on to face another triple threat winner later on tonight. So, There was some cool spots in the match, including Ali giving Styles a tornado DDT off the apron at hyper speed. As Ali entered the ring, Miz caught him with a skull-crushing finale, but it took too long to make the cover and Ali kicked out. Ali hit Miz with the 450 splash, but his momentum sent him right into the arms of AJ Styles for a Styles Clash. Styles Clash onto the Miz to pick up the pinfall victory. Styles pinned Ali. The crowd popped big for the unique finish, and I liked this. He did his 450. He bounced right up into AJ, and AJ pops him right back down on Miz again. I'm like, oh, that was very clever. That was a clever finish, I will have to say. Since Saturday says the Miz had his ribs taped up. Yeah, it was nothing. It's storyline. Oh, his ribs were bruised and battered from the match with Logan Paul. That's all it was. He's not really hurt or anything. Jordan says, I went to a wrestling show yesterday. One of the wrestlers told me to fuck off. I wasn't happy. Hey, if it was a heel wrestler, feel proud that they included you in part of the show. That's called inclusion, brother. So Pierce and a trainer were checking on Becky Lynch. She was very, I don't want to use the word distraught, but upset. She said, I need some ice and something else for the pain. Trish Ryber approached Bayley and company for a comment. Bayley said this wasn't about Lynch. It was about them. And everyone would find out soon what they meant. As they were trying to leave the building, the Usos would arrive. And Uso goes, one of the Usos, I think it was Jimmy, was like, where are they going? Trying to leave early or something? Ryber then asked the Usos about having to face Ray and Dom tonight with titles on the line just days after defending against the Street Profits. Jimmy and Jay said today would be no different than any other day. They beat the Profits again. They're going to beat the Mysterios again. Because they're the twos and we the ones. We had then a Seth Rollins program, or not program, but segment up next. Rollins called tonight a celebration because he wouldn't have to see or hear from the original idiot, Riddle. Rollins said that Riddle wanted to be so much like Randy. So he put him on the shelf, just like his best friend. With Riddle out of the picture, Rollins wanted to turn his attention to Roman Reigns and the Universal title. The crowd actually cheered for that. Street Profits would interrupt before he can continue and say anything further. Rollins didn't want to share airspace with the, quote, biggest losers in WWE, and he wondered how many times they've lost to the Usos. He suggested that they might as well break up. Like, they're going hard on this breakup thing. Angelo Dawkins reminded Rollins that they beat him to become tag team champions. Montez Ford remembered that Rollins was the guy who lost to Cody Rhodes. Only one booby. Rollins got upset and threatened to stomp them, but he was smart enough not to take them both on at once. Dawkins asked the crowd if they'd like to see one of them beat up Rollins tonight, and they cheered. Dawkins suggested rock, paper, scissors to see who would face Rollins, so brought out a referee to officiate their little game. As they started rock, paper, scissors, Ford grabbed the referee and sprinted to the ring so he can start the match. I was like, whoa, Tez. You don't even care to make things like fair with Dawkins. Like, you just said, fuck you, Dawkins, I want the match. Like, damn. Jordan said, my dad went outside to talk to the wrestler that's told me to fuck off, tell me sorry, and he's going to kick his head off. Again, Jordan, it's part of the show. I get it, you guys are upset with it, but you got to know when you're going to a wrestling show, there's going to be heels. And heels sometimes talk crap to the crowd, no matter who it is. And honestly, you should feel good about it, that you got included as part of the show. That's called being included in part of the show. When a wrestler screws with a fan, that's them doing their job and including you in their job. That was just like at Ric Flair's last match when Jeff Jarrett grabbed a fan's beer and threw it down in the rampway. I would have been like, heck yeah, now give me a new beer. Who's paying for my next beer? But I would have felt joy to be included. That's being included in part of the show. I get it, you were upset because of it, but when you go to a wrestling show, don't take stuff like that personal. Don't take one of the wrestlers yelling at you personal. That's like Ronda Rousey last week on SmackDown when she called a fan. What did she say? She said something to a fan about it. You must still live with your mom or something like that. Or that was like one. Have you ever seen the Ric Flair and Jay Lethal woo off? Ric Flair's literally in the ring, and he's like, I can make any woman cry. And he looks at one lady in the front row and goes, even the fat one right there. That's called including fans as part of the show. Yeah, he called the chick fat. Maybe she didn't feel good because she got called fat, but she got included part of the show. So that's all I'm saying, Jordan. When you go to a wrestling show, if a fan tells you to fuck off, or a fan, laughs at you, or not a fan, but a wrestler tells you to fuck off, or you have a sign and they go, I don't like your sign, or this and that, don't take it personal, because that's just them playing their character and including you as part of the show. Warhawk says it perfectly. MJF does it all the time. He does it all the time. I don't know what you mean by bandwagon, but again, don't take it personally. You and your dad getting upset, you shouldn't have got upset, because it's part of the experience. It's part of the experience of a heel healing up with the fans, and you were that fan that got healed up on. What's the word I'm looking for? Feel excited, happy, elated, joyful even that you got included by the wrestler. You were the one to get picked on, I guess you could say. Okay, Fire King has a elaborate. He says, hey, did you notice any weird cuts during the show? I had some of my broadcast, but I'm not sure. Do you mean like when they were going to commercial? Because I was watching on the Xfinity app. And on the Xfinity app, when they would go to commercial, you can see the Raw logo hit. And they were going to picture-in-picture, but then the Xfinity app throws in some of their own commercials there. And so I didn't get the picture-in-picture. So it cut weird. Then I got commercials. And then it cut to the picture-in-picture commercials. And then it cut back to the show. So maybe that's what you're talking about. You got some weird cuts going in and out of commercials. Because that's what I got as well. Michael Wallace says, I would be happy if a heel told me to F off. Exactly. Don't take it personal. It's a wrestler doing his job. Bryan Danielson used to do it to people all the time on the indies and in ROH. He used to walk up to fans in the front row and tell them that they sucked, that they were fat, that they stunk, that they were worthless, and to fuck off. He used to do it all the time to fans on the indies because he was the ultimate heel, Bryan Danielson. So we ended up getting Seth Rollins versus Montez Ford. The match went 10.5 minutes. Ford got plenty of offense and a few near falls as well, including after hitting a tornado DDT and only getting a 2 because Rollins got to the ropes. Rollins followed this up with a buckle bomb and a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Ford at one point dodged a frog splash and went for one of his own, but Rollins got his knees up. As he got his knees up, Ford bounced off of Rollins onto all 4 knees. Seth noticed it, jumped up really fast, ran at him, stomped him, and pinned him. Seth beats Ford. Again, still the tension of, are these guys going to split up? Is there some sort of tension between Dawkins and Ford? Why did Ford say rock, paper, scissors, bring a ref, and then go, I want the match, and just go and screw Dawkins? I don't know. Rollins then set up for another stop, but Dawkins ran down to make the save. Even though Ford screwed him out of possibly getting the match, he still came down for his friend. He still came down for his best bud. There's a Roman Brock Lesnar video package here. A plug for Reigns versus McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. And screenshots from SummerSlam media coverage. We then had Alexa Bliss versus Asuka that went 2.5 minutes before, a no DQ. Well, a no contest, double DQ kind of deal. If you're talking about tonight, give it tall? No, he wasn't. So there was some back and forth early on when Bayley, Kai, and Sky would come down and interfere. They jumped into the ring and beat down their opponents. Well, not the opponents, but the 2 wrestlers in the ring. So it's like, okay, I see where this is going. It seemed like Sky was setting up for a moonsault with a steel chair when Belair would run down and chase off the heels. Belair grabbed a mic and said, I want a match against any of you. And Sky was like, I'll do you. I'll do it right now. Let's go. And they're like, we need to get an official to make this official. 9:05 p.m. Eastern, first commercial of the show. After that commercial break, which was picture-in-picture, which is great to see that they're doing the more picture-in-picture. Because I'm like, USA, you do it every week with NASCAR. So why can't you do the picture-in-pictures every week with Raw? Like, when it's not a caution commercial, it's picture-in-picture. If they go to a commercial during a green flag run, they go picture-in-picture every time. So it's like, why don't you do this with WWE? It was announced after the break, Belair and Sky will be facing off later tonight. We then had a triple threat match. It was Chad Gable, Dolph Ziggler, and Ciampa, 10.5 minutes. Chad Gable cut a promo on his way down to the ring. I thought it was funny. We did the shush, and then he said something. Well, no, that's not even the right part. So he said something about being losers, or cheaters. He said something about cheaters, like the Houston Astros, and then he said, thank you. And when he did the thank you face, Byron Saxton goes, why does his face always get like that? Cole's like, what are you talking about, Saxton? His face like what? He's like, whenever he says thank you, he gets a weird look on his face. I laughed out loud. So, this match was really, really good. Like, really, really good. They went to a break about 2.5 minutes into the match, but after the break, Gable put Ziggler in the ankle lock as Ciampa applied a crossface. Gable kicked Ciampa aside, but Ciampa broke things up by giving Gable a leg lariat. Ciampa gave Ziggler an air raid crash off the middle rope, but Gable broke up the cover with a diving headbutt the last possible second. Gable gave Ciampa a German suplex, and Ziggler brought down Gable with a zigzag for a near fall. They all traded cradles and counters until Ciampa hit Gable with a knee strike and a fairy tale ending to get the pinfall victory. Again, I would say, really good match. I enjoyed this triple threat here. This then sets up, Ciampa versus AJ Styles. Later on tonight, the winner becomes the new number one contender for the United States Championship. As we move forward, Edge came down for a promo. Edge entered the ring to a big ovation, and he thanked the fans for everything. Edge said, quote, to be fair, for the past few months, I've been a bit of an asshole. That all changes now. Because we can both now get what we want. Edge said that he thought that he could pass his knowledge of 30 years in this business down to Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. It felt like they were just getting started as a group. Their first taste of power clouded their judgment. They thought that they learned all they could from Edge, and that is where they were wrong. He didn't see it coming when they put one over him with Balor. And he admitted, well, that's rare to get one over on me. He then said, as he looked directly into the camera, Finn, Damian, Rhea, I am going to kill Judgment Day. Good, straightforward promo. Got to the point and told us exactly what his plan is. In the back, Kevin Patrick interviewed Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Rey said that they were done with the Judgment Day and that was all in their past. So you thought, buddy boy. He said, now Judgment Day, they got to deal with Edge. He called Edge Familia. And said after they win the tag title, said that they won the tag titles together. He said, but tonight, it's all about one thing. Beating the Usos and becoming champions in Houston. We played some clips from the Nashville tryout. They showed Big E there among other talent. They also talked about Dwight Howard being at the tryout, but didn't show him for some reason. They mentioned Dwight Howard, but didn't show Dwight Howard. Sarah Schreiber interviewed Bayley and the rest of, I guess you can call them, Control. Bayley said that these idiots have been on a downward spiral ever since she left. So she reached out to the two women who have been waiting far too long for their own moment. Dakota Kai said that they know how to play the game. Sky said that she would see Belair in the ring. We had a 17.5 almost minute match. This match ruled. This match was so good, Bianca Belair and Io Sky. It was so good. Belair was in control early following the break, but Bayley and Kai sauntered out to cause a distraction. This allowed Sky to bring her down from the top rope with a Hurricane Rana. Sky slipped out of a KOD and tried to dive off the apron, but Belair caught her and swung her into the barricade. As she was about to throw Sky back into the ring, Dakota Kai and Bayley jumped up on the apron to block it. They never touched. They didn't touch Bianca. So it's like, yeah, they got involved, they interfered, but they didn't physically interfere. At one point, Belair wanted to. Oh, at this point, the crowd started cheering really loud. I'm like, what's going on? Who's coming out? Now came, well, not Bailey. Why did my brain just go numb? I just lost all. Alexa Bliss and Asuka. I don't know why I couldn't think. They came down to. So they came down to back Bianca Belair. We went to a commercial break. After the break, Belair hit a superplex and a standing moonsault for a 2. She fought back with a double foot stomp and a running knee strike in the corner. Belair brought Sky down with a spine buster, but Sky got her knees up on a handspring moonsault attempt. Bailey tripped Belair as Sky distracted the referee, and Sky tried a cover with her feet on the ropes, but Bliss knocked the feet off. Bliss and Asuka then jumped in to brawl with Kai and Bailey, which led to another no contest double DQ finish. Didn't like that we had 2 of these on the show, but the match itself was good until this crap finish. The faces and the heels all brawled until officials broke it all up, and the crowd was chanting, "Let them fight, let them fight, let them fight." So I assume next week, 6-woman tag. If it was announced, I must have missed it, but I didn't see it announced. In the back, Miz hyped up Ciampa as Patrick approached them for an interview. Miz told Patrick that WWE wasn't a playground for a YouTuber, and that he cheated at SummerSlam and blamed Styles for the help. And my whole thing here is, I actually like this, because Miz, when he first came into WWE, they're like, this ain't no place for a reality star. Now Miz is turning the tables, doing the exact same thing to Logan Paul. Oh, you're just a YouTuber with the podcast. You think you're all hot shit? And I was like, okay. I like that Miz has turned the tides from what was said to him, now technically now said, and throwing that back at Logan Paul. If anyone should have sympathy and know what Logan Paul would go through with the whole, you're just a YouTuber, you're just a podcaster, you're a social media guy, it would be Miz. Miz would be the one to understand the talking down to, because he got talked down to by everybody. He was not allowed to change in the locker room. As Banks says, how the tables turned. Exactly. Champa said that he used to respect AJ Styles and his path to WWE, but Styles chose to support a man who made a mockery of their home. So now he would crush Styles and his U.S. title dreams. Miz said that Ciampa would become a superstar under his tutelage. Well, Ciampa's already a bigger superstar than you are, Miz. Just gonna say it. Next up, it was Ciampa versus AJ Styles, but they announced that on commentary, it would be the 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, the former United States champion and Houston's own Booker T. Booker T got a great ovation from the hometown crowd. So the announcers noted that Styles seemed to be favoring his neck following his match earlier. Styles was in control early before the break, but Ciampa countered a Styles clash and hit a series of strikes and a leg lariat for a 2. Ciampa countered another Styles clash, but Styles suplexed him into the turnbuckle. Styles went for the phenomenal forearm, but Ciampa caught him with a high knee for a near fall. He followed this up with the Project Ciampa and got another near fall off of it. Ciampa then set up for the air raid crash, but Styles countered into a Styles clash. Styles had it all won, but then Miz placed Ciampa's foot on the bottom ropes and got the ref's attention to stop the count. Styles then chucked Miz into the timekeeper's area, so Ciampa drove Styles into the ring post before chucking him to the timekeeper's area as well. Ciampa jumped into the ring and told the ref to start counting. As AJ was trying to get back into the ring, they were still on the other side of the barricade when Miz would grab the leg of AJ Styles. AJ was sitting on the barricade, not able to move until he finally broke free and barely got back into the ring. But when he did, he was met by a huge knee strike from Ciampa, a fairy tale ending, and a 1-2-3. Yes, Ciampa has defeated the AJ Styles. With that, next week on Raw, Ciampa will challenge Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. That match should be really good. I thought Ciampa and AJ was really good, except for the Miz interference. I mean, it makes sense. But overall, I thought the match itself really good. In the back, they talked to Bobby Lashley. Lashley told Patrick that he doesn't care who he defends his title against. He said, if I have to, I'll defend my title every single week. He says that he knows that Ciampa is dangerous, and he knows that especially with Miz by his side, he's going to have to watch out for that. But he's got no problem putting him in the Hurt Lock. Then it showed clips of SummerSlam of Brock Lesnar getting to his feet, putting on his cowboy hat, and climbing into the ring that was already tipped over, and tipping his hat to the crowd. But with that, before we talk about our main event, I'll tell you why you should be playing Fortnite and using our code PWU Unlimited to get John Cena. WWE has partnered up with Epic Games for Epic SummerSlam. With that, they have brought the 16-time world champion John Cena to Fortnite. John Cena is available right now in the item shop on Fortnite, whether that is on your PC, your Xbox, your PlayStation, your Nintendo Switch, and so forth. John Cena, wearing the green gear that he wore last summer and in his match at SummerSlam with Roman Reigns, comes in two different variants. One of Cena with a shirt on, and one of Cena without a shirt. The John Cena Fortnite bundle also comes with his championship title back bling, 5-digit slapper pickaxe, and the You Can't See Me emote that plays his theme song when you emote. If you are looking to get John Cena in Fortnite, then go do it right now and use code PW Unlimited at checkout or in the item store. And you're getting them V-Bucks to purchase the 16-time world champion. Also, yes, we have Epic SummerSlam, but it doesn't just end at Fortnite. We also do know that skins of Asuka, King Woods, and The Undertaker have been added to Fall Guys, as well as 2 car wraps for Rocket League, a John Cena car wrap, and a Roman Reigns one. Again, when purchasing any of these through Epic, the Epic Game Store, or the game launchers, use code PW Unlimited at checkout. Support us for no extra cost. So with that, as we move forward, we have the main event of tonight's show. It was the Usos defending the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships against the Mysterios. Match went 15 minutes and 45 seconds, and I thought this match was really fun, really good, great main event. So the Usos worked over Ray until he made a hot tag to Dominic, who handed out neckbreakers to both Usos. Dominic wiped out the Usos with a dive, and they went to a break at about 40 seconds in. After the break, Jimmy Uso avoided a 619 from Dominic, and the Usos caught him with a dive attempt and drove him into the ring post, leading to another break. Also, here's my question. Speaking of the 619 really fast, Io Sky, one of her moves in NXT was the 619. Now, tonight, we saw her set up for a 619, but instead of when she dropped Bianca on the ropes, she just did the whole, I'm going to run and double knee stomp to your back. So is Io not going to be able to do that 619 in her matches because she's on the main roster now? It's a question we need to ask. Going forward, the Usos caught Dominic on a dive attempt and drove him to the ring post, leading to another break. Ray got a hot tag following the break, but Jay super kicked him out of midair for a 2. Ray countered a 1D attempt for tagging Dominic in, and they gave Jimmy a double 619. Dominic hit a frog splash, but Jay just barely broke up the pin. The crowd really wanted that to be the finish, and they wanted to see a title change. Jay super kicked Ray outside of the ring before Dominic wiped him out with a dive, sort of. Dominic then battled Jimmy off the top rope and set him up for a 619, but Jay made the blind tag, and they hit the 1D to pick up the victory. The Usos do retain the titles. As the Usos were celebrating outside of the ring, all of a sudden, in came Judgment Day. Judgment Day would attack the Mysterios, saying, hey, this ain't over. Edge would then make his way out to make the save. Edge gave Priest a DDT before setting up Balor for a spear. However, Ripley would push Dominic in front of Balor, and Edge would spear Dom instead by mistake. Edge then chased Balor off as Ray and the medical staff checked on Dominic. The show then just went off the air. So here's my theory here. Also, no theory on tonight's show, which is another thing that, what the hell? Where's Mr. Money in the Bank? Anyways, I feel like the spear, which usually a spear doesn't take somebody out, but they made it seem like Dom's hurt. So maybe the spear is going to take Dominic out, and that's going to lead to Ray and Edge teaming up against Finn and Damian. That's the only thing I can think of here. The only thing that would make actual sense in this case. Like, now the Judgment Day needs an extra person, maybe, if it's Edge and the Mysterios, because Edge and the Mysterios can't fight Rhea technically. She's a girl, and they don't let men touch women, but maybe Dom's out with a rib injury. Maybe Edge speared him so hard that he broke his rib. And so it's going to be Edge and Ray maybe against the Judgment Day. We'll see how that all does go. But with that, that was everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. You guys know what I thought of tonight's show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. Remember, you can text in to 510-906-1341. Again, that's 510-906-1341 to let me know what you thought of tonight's show. Before we get into all of that, we got to check the polls. Let's pull those up here. As far as the Twitch poll does go, 94% liked the show, 6% thought it was just all right. No, 6% didn't like it. As far as the YouTube poll does go, 77% liked tonight's Raw, 18% thought it was all right, and 5% did not like Raw. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 82.5% liked the show, 12.5% thought it was just all right, and 5% did not like Raw. As far as some of the comments here on YouTube, they said, it was awesome. I could tell Triple H ran that show. Can you? Can you really? Says, I haven't said this in a while, but this is a good show. The crowd sucked. I thought the crowd was all right. Person says, I liked that show. This person said, shame shit, different week. I mean, I can really see where you can say that because it didn't seem like there was much of a change. It still felt like a regular episode of Raw, but a good regular episode of Raw where they actually let the wrestlers go out there and have really good matches. That's the one thing I will say was different from this match or from this show, match quality. Match quality. As far as the text messages do go, this person says, do you see Zoe Stark taking the NXT Women's title off Mandy Rose? I would like to, but I don't think so. I could be wrong there, but I don't think so. Person here says, when will Raw and SmackDown be officially TV 14? Well, no one ever said Raw was going to be, or SmackDown was. No one ever said SmackDown was. And they're still working on it, I guess. I don't know. We heard Seth Rollins at one point when he was going for a spog splash, call Montez Ford a bitch. He literally yelled out, how about this, bitch? Where it says, hey, do you think Rhea Ripley will still get her shot at Bianca's title over... Hold on. Oh, okay, I get this now. Do you think Rhea Ripley will still get her shot at Bianca's title one day, even with competition from Bayley's group? She should, but I think that's just so far gone that they're not even thinking about that anymore. That I read on Sportster.com. Per Fightful, apparently Tommaso Ciampa is in line for a big push. Yep. Talked about that earlier today on the wrap-up. And we saw Ciampa's big push. It was getting a shot at the U.S. title, winning 2 big matches tonight. Person says, I hope they don't split Street Profits. Saw what happened to Otis and Tucker. Very true. And they even said back at Money in the Bank, if there's dissension in the Street Profits, you know, a lot of people talk great about Montez Ford, but could Dawkins be his Marty Jannetty? They said it. This person says, show was really good. The Raw Women's division looks so much better than SmackDown's. Also, the crowd really sucked. No, I don't think the crowd sucked. I don't get it. I thought the crowd was pretty good. I thought it was a good crowd tonight. But as far as the SmackDown Women's division goes, just wait. That's all I can say. Just wait. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited if you are watching live. Or on podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Google Pod, Apple Pod, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Or if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/PW Unlimited. We'll be back live on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. So keep it locked right here to Pro Wrestling Unlimited for all the latest late-breaking news in the world of professional wrestling. Have a good night, guys, and I'll see you next time.